Bonjour, everybody. Hi, this is Neshi Locatz. Welcome to Star Nations Communications from Home. It's Tuesday night, August 15th, middle of the month already, and 6 more days before the solar eclipse. So tonight is, it's really very nice here in Wisconsin. It's one of those perfect Wisconsin summer days, and the evening is just as beautiful. And so having this show tonight, I was going to try to do it upstairs out of my Four Seasons porch, but the air conditioner runs every once in a while. It gets kind of loud. We're going to need to do a little noise dampening if I'm going to ever do that. So anyway, tonight we have with us one of someone who is very special to me. She and I have done radio shows together. We've taught classes together. We have a good time whenever we get together. We laugh a lot, and we share some pretty good, insightful things sometimes when it comes to spiritual stuff, and everyday kind of stuff too. So my guest tonight is Julie Hedges. Now, some of you already know Julie. Julie is one of our contributing writers, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, are her articles in the Star Nations magazine. But Julie is also an author. And, every week I show her book, right? The Tarot Journey, Volume 1. Julie's book was the very first one Star Nations Publishing Company published in 2017. And so it was a fun trip with Julie to get that published, and we learned lots, both of us did, through that process. But tonight, Julie is going to be with us to share a little something extra, and that is that she is going to be writing a little something more for Star Nations, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, I'm going to bring Julie on, and here we go. Whoops, we got to bring both of us on. If I can figure out which one that is. All right, be live. There we are. This is not the one I wanted. I want the one where we're together. Oh, they changed this. That's why I couldn't find it. All right, we're going to take that one down. All right. I'm still learning the studio. So, one of the things that being on a live show is so much fun. It really is. But you guys get to see everything that we do, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, So anyway, welcome to the show, Julie.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. This is always a joy to get to talk to you.
Yeah,
and all our listeners and readers. Yes.
And and the thing is that Julie was also my very first time I ever used Be Live TV app. And do you remember way back when? February, I think it was.
That was fun.
Yes. No, it wasn't February. It was March. It was March.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten so much better at it, I think. But before we get started, one of the things that I'd like to do is I want to let everybody know what they're watching. They're watching Star Nations Communications with Home with my guest, Julie Hedges, right? And if you could all do me a favor, if you could like and share this broadcast, it would be really helpful, very, very helpful. And I'm doing the same thing on my phone. I'm going to share it out. I'm going to share it out to my timeline. And that way, those people who wanted to see the show and they get busy, and they lose track of time. It happens to me. And so when they get a little bit of oh, wait a minute. Oh, the show's on. Then they can come join us. So I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. And we're just going to say hi to a few people here, Julie, before we get started. Because awesome. Connie's in the chat.
Hi, Connie.
And guess who? Carla Jo. Hi, Carla Jo.
Hi, Carla. I love your profile picture. Love it.
Isn't it good?
Hi,
Meg. And Meg's here too? Wait.
Yes. And Nikki, Jocelyn.
Hey, there you go. All right. Hi, everybody. Well,
Lily.
Lily. Hey, Lily, Mistress of Oz. It's kind of weird sometimes, when Lily's in the chat room and I'm producing a show. It's like, wait, where's Lily? Hey, Meg. Hey, Jocelyn. Jocelyn's funny. I like her picture too.
Mm-hmm. Petting her deer.
Yeah. And Carla Jo says her profile picture is, a guardian gift from a Great Lakes retreat where she was at.
I love that.
Yeah. And then here's Lily. Hello, Lily. So we got some things to talk about tonight.
Okay.
So Julie is one of our contributing writers, and Julie writes the Tarot Journey section in the Star Nations magazine. And I was going to try to get one of her articles up, and I do have one, but it's of something brand new that we're going to wait just a little bit to show. Okay. And so anyway, with Julie's articles, I still have the July issue right at my fingertips here. I don't know if you can see this. Here's Julie's article. July issue. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So every month, Julie writes about the tarot and other things and helps us to understand that ancient language and how it's applied to our lives today. And she does a really good job at it because it's Julie, especially those videos that you've done in the past. Those are really, really good. And I really like those. And if anybody wants to see those, they can go to our YouTube channel, the Star Nations magazine or the Star Nations Publishing YouTube, and see those. So, Julie, how do you select the topic that you're going to write about? And then within that topic, how do you decide, okay, I'm going to write on this?
I like that question. Thank you very much for that question. Really, what happens for me, my process is at the beginning of the month, I'm very focused on the radio show. Since I broadcast on the third Monday of every month, I really like to have my topic turned in and my promo and all of that wrapped up by the beginning of the month. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I finish my show, that's when I start working with Spirit of, okay, Spirit, what's my article going to be about for the following month? And it's a process of about 5 days where I'm listening and I'm praying and I'm trying to get in sync with Spirit. I guess that's the best way to put it. Mm-hmm. And it's usually one of those ahas. It'll come in a dream. It'll come when I first wake up in the morning, when I'm driving or in the bathtub, because that's when Spirit loves to talk to me in those situations, especially in the bathtub. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that water, but I'll get a song or a lyric. That's really the way that Spirit likes to communicate with me. And from that is the direction and the tone and the timbre and the vibration of the article. Mm-hmm. So it's really about fitting the song to the tarot. Or well, a better way to put it, picking out that frequency or vibration of the tarot as it applies to the song, the modern song that is alive and living today. And I shared in the Tarot Journey Empowerment workshop that just did last weekend at Star Nations Academy East. Thank you all for attending. That was a beautiful, beautiful thing to do, to commune together in that. I shared that I just lost my train of thought. I completely lost it.
It was picking up that frequency within.
Oh, yes. That the tarot is a living volume. It's the book of life. And as we work with the tarot, it is weaving itself into our lives, and we are weaving ourselves into it. And we have access to to all of the tarot masters who have gone before, and all of the tarot wisdom that has gone before, and pulling it into the modern life. And we are putting our own love and juices and spices in there to bring it out, to bring out the taste and the flavor and the smell of it. So I don't decide what goes in the magazine. It's really spirit, and it's the process of me listening. If I can share with you the article that I submitted for the free issue that's coming up, because I know that Star Nations magazine does a free issue every year, a gift, a wopula, as Dana will say. I listened to Spirit again, and this is about the World card of the major arcana. Let's see if I can find the World card. It's the culmination of everything. It's the World, surrounded on all sides by the 4 fixed stars. And yes, here it is. Let's see if I can hold it up.
Oh, yeah.
Let me pull it back a little bit so you can see that, the World card. Yeah. And so how that came to be, can we share what the topic is for?
Sure. The topic was the Grandmother Earth. Grandmother
Earth. So the world, there we go, the Earth, the Grandmother Earth. And the World card, when we talk about astrology just a little bit, the World card is ruled by Saturn, which is an Earth planet. So that all tied together. But the inspiration for that was a song, a country song from many, many years ago. And maybe some of you know it. I'm not going to sing it, but it's Brad Paisley's Baby, You Are the World. And the lyrics are all about, if you go to the bank, you're just a check to be deposited. If you go to the ice cream shop, you're just another cone to be delivered. You go to the laundromat, you're just another load of laundry. But baby, to me, you are the world. That's what the song is about. And so I was listening to that song and the lyrics to really bring forth what that card represents in my walk with the tarot, in my tarot journey. So it's a process for me of just listening and tuning into that. Yeah.
Well, you know what I love about our writers at Star Nations is that the process, it seems, for almost every one of our contributing writers is a co-creation with spirit. Somehow, being able to connect with your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and to be able to work on those articles together. And it's a kind of a form, I think, of communication with writing, the way that it comes through almost every single one of our writers, and especially what you just described. And then you couple that with the sharing of your personal experiences, your life lessons. You guys share your heart with our readers. And I think that's one of the things that makes us really unique. And especially the one article, I think it was in June, May or June. It was about parents and family. And you wrote about your parents. And you had a family, your dad, your family picture. And that was just, that was a very sweet, sweet article that you wrote,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And wait a minute. We got a message here from Lily. She says, sing, Julie, sing it.
Well, maybe a little later in the broadcast.
Well, one of the things is that for those people who don't know Julie Hedges, Julie has a beautiful singing voice. And she has used that singing voice both in shows that she and I have done together. She has sung for us at Star Nations Academy East. And so she has a beautiful voice. And so that's why everybody's encouraging her to sing, because we love your voice, you know.
Thank you.
I mean, it was one of those multi-layered skills and gifts that you bring to your teaching and to your writing, because you talk about your life in music. I mean, just tonight you were describing how you write and about the song and about the lyrics and about the, you know, the frequency and
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can you share a little bit about that, about how music is in your life?
Well, I'm going to say that music is responsible for me even being part of Star Nations. Do I need to turn myself down?
You're doing okay. You're right.
Okay. I just heard a little feedback.
Mm.
So it's in the introduction of my book. So if you have the Tarot Journey Volume 1, you can read about this, but I'll share about it a little bit. I was at a workshop with Denise Iwana, Dana, in Southern Indiana back in 2013. And as part of this workshop, we were outside in a sacred circle, and we were communing with nature, and we were to open our hearts and ask Grandfather Sun what we needed for our spiritual path. And so I just kind of took a deep breath from way down the bottom of my toes, and in my mind, I started the question, Grandfather Sun, what do I? And I couldn't even finish my question, because immediately the answer came, and it came as a wave. It came as a tone. It came all the way from my feet up to the top of my head, this resonance. If you can imagine what a gentle, kind Darth Vader would sound like. And this voice just rang and said, sing. So I'm not doing it justice, but it was that resonance saying, sing. So over the course of a few weeks, I took that back with me, and I tucked it in my heart, but I was thinking, well, what does that mean? What am I supposed to sing? Where am I supposed to sing? With whom am I supposed to sing? Do I have to go back and learn the piano? So it's just this all in my mind. What does this mean? What does this mean? And after a few weeks of this, I decided, you know, I'm growing weary and wearing myself out and going crazy like a drunk hamster on the wheel. I just need to stop this. So I kind of declared out loud, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, I didn't have any answers to any of my questions, but it's like, okay, I'll do it. And thankfully, my mind kind of calmed down at that point. But then it was just maybe a couple weeks later that Denise had invited me to be a guest on Balancing Heaven and Earth, where we talked about the ancient tarot. And then as a result of that evening, it was such a fun show and good response. She invited me to be a part of Star Nations Radio Network. And so I listened to that, and I said, okay, I'll do it. I don't have the answers, but I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to trust. And it was not long after that that I began, I broadcast my first show on April 21st, 2014. And it was maybe a couple months into it, of my monthly show, Spirit said, okay, you need to sing on the radio. And so my conversations with Spirit go something like, you want me to do what? Are you sure? Are you serious? And it's like, okay, I'm trusting. I'll do it. So I did start singing on the radio at that point. A little bit here and there, not a whole lot, because I wasn't too confident at that point. But I was open, and I listened to that. So singing brought me to Star Nations, and it keeps opening more doors for what my path is supposed to be. Carla Jo saying, I know that conversation well.
Yeah, I just
you want me to do what? Are you serious? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I can honestly say that somehow we've all kind of experienced something similar, where we question why, and I'm so glad you listened and said, all right, I don't know what I'm doing, or it makes me nervous, but okay, I'm going to do it. I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did, because one of the things that when we were doing our show, Gather at the World Tree, that we used to do, that was just beautiful, is to sing one of the chants, and I can't remember the name of it. What was the name of it?
I had sung many of them, but the Gate, the Heart Sutra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gate Sutra. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorites. And so the way that you blend and combine the music, your voice, the tarot, the Reiki.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this about you, and this is the next thing I'd like to touch on.
Okay.
That is that Julie is really, really good at astrology. And in fact, she has done my astrology. She's done Dana. She's done Lily's. She's done Todd's. She's done so many people in the community that some of our listeners, that's part of the backstory that many people don't know about you, is that you are very adept at astrology as well. And what I like about your astrology isn't your typical Western astrology. What can you kind of describe that for our listeners?
Sure. What I do, and it has taken me a while, again, it's synthesis and listening to how this should come through. My work is called Soul Path Empowerment Astrology. So I think there's a little bit of a misnomer out there that, it's written in the stars, that means it's fated, and this is how it has to be, and everything's in black and white. But we know that there is free will. And so with astrology, for me, astrology is a language. It's a living language of light. Thank you for putting that up there. Soul Path Empowerment Astrology. And the pattern of stars and planets at the very moment you were born shows the blueprint of life. It shows the house that you decided to create when you came down here. Just like you would build your own house. The living room's here, the bedroom's here, the kitchen, the garden tub, the patio, the lanai out back. It's the pattern that you said you would inhabit. But how you live in that location is completely up to you. The art on your walls, the books on your bookshelves, all of maybe the beautiful Yadro pieces and your Egyptian cotton sheets and all of those things. You get to choose that. And the work that I do with clients is about helping you create a dialogue with your soul to really understand and embody your gifts, talents, and abilities, and to master your lessons and challenges and go out there and just, kick it into high gear, jump over those hurdles and not hit the brick walls. So it's Soul Path Empowerment Astrology. And, Connie saying, Julie did mine last evening. First ever I had done. That was a beautiful evening. Thank you, Connie. Yeah.
I'll put that one up.
Thank you. Nikki, love Julie's astrology readings. Meg, she's done mine and family too. Thank you. Thank you all for really deciding to jump into that work.
Yeah, and the thing is that the reason why I bring this up is because our longtime astrologer, Cindy Fadwar, she started with us from the very beginning. Needed to take a break. She wanted to take a break from writing, and she needed to do some of her own healing work and journey, right? And so we had to find another astrologer. And Dana and I were talking, and I said, I don't think we have to go very far. And so I kind of hold of Julie and pitched it to her. And Julie, I'm so glad you were open and saying, yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. Because we get to bring soul path empowerment astrology to the rest of the world, and all of our readers. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be the combination of the astrology and the combination of the tarot is going to be a unique piece coming through your filter and with your guides. And I can't wait for your next article to come out. I'm going to show everybody in the August issue, which was published on the 10th. This is the article. We're just going to, let's see, I got to move.
I love that picture.
Yeah, I do too. Now I'm going to take myself down just for a second. It's just, and if you could tell them about your article and how you got your inspiration for it, okay? Because when I take myself down, I'm not going to have a mic. So, but I'll come back up.
Okay. Sounds great. We have a very important event coming up, and I know that all of you have heard about it on the news, on the internet, and I've talked about it on the radio, and Dana's talked about it, Neshi's talked about it. Of course, is the solar eclipse that is coming up on the 21st. So, of course, my very first article for astrology for Star Nations magazine had to be about the eclipse. And we have eclipses, at least 4 of them a year, sometimes up to 7. It just depends on how Grandfather Sun and Grandmother Moon dance around as they're going through their orbit. But this is a very, very special eclipse. This is the Great American Eclipse, making its line right through the middle of the United States. The first time since 1918 where it's going to touch coast to coast. So all of us in the U.S. are really going to feel it, and some of us are going to have the opportunity to live it as we are in the direct path. Evansville, Indiana, where I am, is about 90 miles from the path of totality. So I think I'm going to go down to Hopkinsville, Kentucky to experience that. And it has been described by other writers who have experienced those total eclipses as just this swift moving wind of light and silence too. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this event. But the article is entitled "The Eclipse Axis of Love," and specifically love because it's in the sign of Leo, and Leo rules the heart. And heart is all about love and being authentic to our hearts. And this eclipse, being in the sign of Leo, the astrological sign of the Lion King, the Sun King, the lion-hearted, is asking us to get real, to get down to brass tacks in our hearts, our heart wisdom. What is authentic? How are we generous? How are we taking authority as being kings and queens in our own lives? So this article, again, is Soul Path Empowerment Astrology, about taking the messages of the stars, this stellar language that I happen to speak, and I translate it into regular English terms for folks to help them use the wisdom in their own lives. And so sharing this article with everyone, The Eclipse Axis of Love, is what are the stars showing us about how to love ourselves better, so therefore we can love others. And one thing I will say about the language of astrology, I think of astrology as the art and science of the law of correspondence. And we also know the law of correspondence as the Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as within, so without. Even our sacred prayers talk about that. And so being able to share that in Star Nations magazine, high integrity writers and a high integrity publication that is created in love and brought to all of us in love, is a high honor. And I am very grateful to be asked to share this. And it's so exciting that my very first contributing article for Astrology is about the Great American Eclipse. And just to give a little preview, the September article is going to be featuring our recent Mercury retrograde that we are undergoing right now. So you'll get to learn a little bit about how to integrate some of those energies about Mercury retrograde, because there are some maybe misnomers about that. Yes, there are challenges with Mercury when he turns around and marches backward, but it's a way to rethink and refocus and refuel. Mm-hmm. And resume something. So it's all good stuff. So be on the lookout. I know it's a few days away, but the September article going to be about this Mercury retrograde and how the Mercury retrograde this time ties right back into the solar eclipse. So just like we say at Star Nations, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah. It's delivered on a silver platter. Yes.
Yep. And we try to look at all of that as gifts, right? We try to do the best we can to look at it as gifts, even when we're shocked and gobsmacked. It's like, yes, okay, there's a gift in there somewhere. But thank you for sharing that, because sure. we're going to get started with the September issue in about a week. I've already got some workings on it. I'm actually more submersed in another piece of Star Nations that we're going to be talking about in the next show. So, yeah. But I wanted to share with everybody what the title of your new column is going to be starting in the October issue, which is the Tarot Journey to the Stars. Is going to be the title.
I like that.
I do too. Mm-hmm. I do too. We just came up with that just like 20, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's a good one though, I think. Mm-hmm. So I just want to show everybody the cover for the August issue.
It's lovely.
And, yeah, it is. It is. It's one of my favorite covers, I think. And so if you haven't purchased your own copy yet, you still can, and we have it in five different versions for you, depending on how you like to read your material. We have it as print on demand. We have it as a digital for mobile devices such as phones and tablets, and that's for Apple and Android. We also have it as a PDF and also a web viewer version. And our partners with magcloud.com, they're the ones that do the PDF and the print on demand and the web viewer. So which one do you get, Julie?
I like the MagCloud. I want to hold it in my hands.
Okay.
I do.
You like the print?
Yeah, the print on demand. I do.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I get them all.
Yay!
Well, I have to see it because, by the time it actually publishes, I have seen the magazine so many times, right? The articles and all of that. But what I like to do is to be able to go through the print magazine, and we have fabulous pictures, and they look different in the print magazine than they do in the digital. And I like having it on my iPad because when I go places, I can show people this is the magazine that we publish. And then I like it on my phone. So when I'm standing in line somewhere or, waiting for something at the pharmacy for my mom, I can go through it on my phone. So I get it in all versions. I do test it out in the PDF and also in the web viewer as well. And so, so we have it in all different versions. And Meg, this is what Meg's saying. She loves the digital because you can read it right away.
Mm-hmm.
The print on demand will take a couple weeks for it to come to you. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And so, Julie, I really do appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight.
You are welcome.
I also want to show everybody your book too. And there is the Tarot Journey, Volume 1, because we know there's going to be more.
It was such a joy to create that with you. And when I was invited to write this book and to share it, it was just a beautiful day. Thank you for that offer.
And what I love about your book is that if you're just starting out with tarot, it really is a good book to be able to read through the articles and say, oh, okay, let me do this one. And you have spreads that people can try, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're an intermediate user, you're learning, you've been at it for a while, it's a good book to be able to deepen your ability with it. That's what I like about it. And even with those teachers out there, if you're looking for a good book, for a resource, and for people who are just starting out, that's a great gift for them to be able to give them that the book. And so,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Julie, for doing all the writing for us and just being a part of our community. You're such a bright star in it. I appreciate it. I know we're going to get overclapped now. Get the Kleenex.
And thank you, Carla Jo. She's saying that Julie's book is on my shelf or in my bag with my cards when I read for others. Thank you, Carla. That means so much because I know you are a tarot master and tarot teacher yourself. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I so loved seeing you last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and with that, Julie, you'll see her back on Star Nation's Communications from Home because we're going to be talking about her radio show and upcoming things that's going to be happening with her radio show now that we've added the astrology piece, Everything's got to shift and change. So Julie, you'll see Julie back again when we start interviewing the radio show hosts, which will happen in October. Oh,
good.
Yay. All right. Well, Julie, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, just like everybody else. We appreciate you coming here and listening and being with us. We appreciate that.
Always a joy. Thank you.
Yeah. And with that, Bamamina, which is Potawatomi for until we see each other again. We'll see you next week. Next week is, I believe, who's my guest next week? Hang on. Let me check my calendar. I should know who it is, right? You know who it is? It's my good sister friend, Sharon Rosenberg.
Yay.
Sharon's going to be joining me next week.
Wonderful editor. She edited my book.
Yes, edited your book. She does my editing for everything I write. But she's also a writer herself. And so she's going to be coming on and talking about the featured articles that she writes for us and also the health and healing articles that she writes for us. So, yay. See you next week when Sharon's with me. Thanks, Julie.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.